Setting goals is what keeps us honest with ourselves. So here are 5 things you should do in 2025. This year, you should learn your most difficult song yet. I'm a firm believer that pushing our boundaries and challenging ourselves is one of the best ways to grow. Instead of telling yourself, I can't do that or I won't be able to play that way, start with the mindset that you can do it and allow yourself to start discovering the possible ways that you'll get there. Maybe you want to learn a really difficult fingerstyle intro. While you might not have the speed right now, you know that you're gonna have to start dropping your pick and working on your right hand technique. Or maybe you wanna work on a ridiculously fast guitar solo. When you start opening yourself up to the possibility that you can do it, then you can work on the steps it takes to get there, like cleaning up your hammer-ons and pull-offs or working with a metronome. Which reminds me about number 2. You're finally gonna start using a metronome. Let's all be honest here, okay? You lie about it, I lie about it. We don't use a metronome as often as we probably should. But when your teacher asks, of course you practice with a metronome. You do it daily. You live the metronome. You breathe the metronome. You will die by the metronome. Well, now it's time to take that claim relatively seriously. Practicing with a metronome gives you so many good things that you don't even expect. I think developing spatial awareness, that is, having the time to do the things you want to do in a song, and the ability to play along with other things, keeping your ears open while your hands are playing so you're not just self-absorbed and thinking about your own sound only, are 2 of the greatest skills that any musician can have, which is why metronomes are recommended by teachers worldwide. But let it be said, hey, I understand, I hear you, metronomes are boring. They sound boring, it's just a guy in the back room hitting a wooden block with a stick. So let me offer this alternative for you. You can always go to YouTube and type in easy drum backing track. That's what a metronome is trying to represent in the first place, a set of drums. So try playing along with a drum track, which will still give you that spatial awareness and allow you to work on your timing for all of your riffs, techniques, scales, and more. Number 3, it's time to learn a new scale type. I'm looking deep into your soul right now, and I'm guessing that you have been relying on the pentatonic scale for your entire life. And I actually endorse this. The pentatonic scale is one of the most beautiful scales that you can play. It's super easy, super practical, and used in pretty much every style of music. But scales are the lens that we view melody. And if you want to open yourself to the possibilities of new melodies, or if you want to understand why you like the melodies you love in your favorite songs, then it's time to start understanding that the real Slim Shady uses the harmonic minor scale. And just your friendly neighborhood guitar man reminder that scales are just a way of connecting a note and itself in a higher register. That means that there are countless numbers of scales, including diatonic scales, hexatonic scales, pentatonic scales, tetratonic scales. So really, the sky is the limit. You can go through the list of the most popular scales that there are out there, including the major and minor scales, or going through some of the more useful ones like your modal scales if you're ready for that step, or learning a scale with a name so ridiculous it sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, like the Hirajoshi scale. If you're a songwriter, it can be interesting to think about scales as more of a limitation that you put on yourself. For example, try writing a melody, a song, or even a chord progression that only uses 6 notes. You'll end up coming up with really beautiful voicings and sounds that you never would have gotten to if you allowed yourself the room to play more than those 6 notes. Fourth thing you're gonna do this year is you are going to play something on the guitar that is not pre-written. I cannot stress the importance of this enough, even if you are not a very creative person. I often meet 2 types of people in my classroom: the people that love exercises like this and the people that absolutely hate doing anything that's not written down on a page for them. Mostly it seems like it's because they're shy, or they think they don't have very good ideas, or they're not much interested in putting their brain into work that way. But it's important to discover things on your own with your instrument. A lot of the common themes and practices that you see from great players in their songs are just things that are shared or handed down from different techniques they learned from other guitar players, which ultimately came from somebody playing a D chord and then realizing they can put a pinky down on this extra fret and then let go to create this really cool sound. When you allow yourself the room to begin exploring the guitar and your chords, you start to realize that music isn't as rigid as it seems like it is on the page. Even back in the day when you were given a piece of sheet music, you weren't expected to play it perfectly the way that it was written. It was assumed that you were going to put your own style and interpretation onto the notes that were on the page. And you can do that in a melodic sense with ornamentation, or you can do that in a chordal sense by adding alterations to these chords that make sense. Allowing yourself to take a very basic C, G, and D progression that you might see written down on a song and turn it into something with some nicer chords. You can take this step as far as you'd like it to go. I actually wanted to make number 4 writing your own song, but I recognize that not everybody wants to do that. So we'll shorten it to try to see if you can take the things that you've learned on the guitar up till now and do something with it on the guitar that isn't already pre-written for you. Something that you come up with. It doesn't really matter what it is. One example I try to do with my students is to recognize something from a song that you like in Blackbird, these little 2-note positions that always sound really good, and try to expand on that concept. What happens if you take that position and just start moving it around the fretboard? You can create really pleasant, lovely sounds just like they did in the Beatles. Finally, number 5, you are going to be kind to yourself this year. This seems like kind of a cop-out number 5 answer, I understand, but it's very important to understand, especially coming from somebody that is a bit of a perfectionist, that nothing you do in music will be perfect. There's actually this really frustrating inverse where the harder you work on something, the worse you get at it because your fingers start to get tired and you start to lose your direction. The way to improve on the guitar is slow and steady and acknowledging the things that you need to work on, but not getting too frustrated at the fact that you need to work on. I honestly think this kind of mindset is really important for things outside of music and just in life in general, because it allows me to be focused and making incremental progress while outlasting the people that get frustrated and give up. As they always say, slow and steady wins the race. So if you see yourself making a bunch of mistakes and you think that, wow, I'm not a great guitar player, I feel really bad, maybe I should stop playing, the solution isn't to put down the guitar. The solution is to just push through it and be consistent. If all you do is just show up every day, you're going to improve a lot faster than those people that are looking for short-term gains. Which is why I recommend that you implement guitar into your lifestyle. Make it something that you do in the morning after you eat breakfast or when you come home from a long day's work. Try to make it a leisure activity. Don't make it too much of a chore. Don't make it too complicated or more than what it is. Go up, pick it up, put it down, enjoy your life, and keep on living. And one day you'll wake up and you realize, hey, you're actually pretty good at guitar. If you guys like advice like this, I recommend you check out my 2-hour course that I just launched for only $28. You can find the link to it in my profile. It covers everything you would need to know as a first-time player or a parent that just bought their kid a guitar for the holidays. You can also listen to my original music and follow me on Spotify if you want to support my growth there. You can find the links to everything in my profile. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.